riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. It's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Yellow and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album, the show where we pick an album or a song, listen to it for an entire week straight, come back here and tell you, the fine listener, if we hate it, and of course, why. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, co-host extraordinaire, powdered toast man to my log, Timothy Richardson. Tim, how are you doing?
Oh, Garrett, this has been a really trying week for me.
Tell me of your plight, sir. What's wrong? Maybe I can help you out.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you've heard of the concept of California sober, where you don't like drink or do hard drugs or whatever, but you can still smoke pot, right?
Yeah, but you're like still cool.
Yeah, and of course, you know that every October we do Sober October to try and dry Gino out to get him ready for our annual Spookvember litigation season, and then all the interns have to participate to keep him on the old straight and narrow.
Sure, it's largely ceremonial for you and I, as we are a couple of 1-2 good boys.
Absolutely. Well, Garrett, it turns out that instead of our classic annual Sober October this year, the interns decided to do something called Staten Island Sober for the past month, which is, I guess it's sort of analogous to California Sober. So Gino is bone dry. He's ready to go. But every last one of these interns appears to be addicted to fentanyl.
Oh, man.
Right.
That would explain all the loafing about.
It would. So now I guess we have to do some sort of no opiate November, which admittedly has a bit of a ring to it. But Garrett, I just don't want to put in the effort. I think it might just be easier to, protect them all from COVID, if you know what I mean, and just start the intern pool back up from scratch.
Oh, Tim's considering a full fumigation. I was thinking we just put a couple of Suboxones in each one of their stockings this Christmas and call it a day.
Garrett, a lot of the interns are looking at me, and I don't know if they've figured out that code or just want my delicious fentanyl, but I don't have any because I didn't do it. I didn't participate. I don't have any.
Yeah, guys, at most that's like brown sugar. He doesn't do the fent. God, you'd be a real nightmare. Or perhaps incredibly manageable.
I think I would just be dead.
Yeah, probably that. Anywho's will be, when not losing complete and total control of our entire staff due to the scourge known as fentanyl, what album have we been listening to for an entirely too long week straight?
We have been listening to Type O Negative's 1996 album October Rust, as suggested by Una.
Ugh. And Tim, after an entire week with what will forever now be known as a quote-unquote Una pick. Feel free to submit your sound drops as needed, listeners. hatePodMail@gmail.com. Tim, after this week with the Una pick, Type O Negative's October Rust, I'm so curious. Do you hate this album?
Oh, Garrett, yes, I do. I will admit that this is as perfect a pick for this show as was advertised by Una, but this album can eat a whole big bag of dicks. And frankly,
strong words.
Una can eat a whole big bag of dicks, he or she, for the admittedly great suggestion, unless Una's one of these people that likes dicks, in which case, your punishment, Una, no dicks at all.
I think even people that like dicks don't want to quote-unquote eat a bag of them.
Some do. Garrett,
That's true.
I gave you a big bag, I don't know, let's say hamburgers, you'd be thrilled, right?
Yes.
Some people are like that with dicks. Who knows what Una's into? Apparently, it's Type O Negative's October Rust. So, God only knows. Garrett, do you hate this album?
I'm horrified by the idea that anybody's walking around consuming a bag of wieners.
If I gave you a big bag of hot dogs, you'd be thrilled.
Yes.
Bratwursts.
Yep.
Garrett, do you hate this album? Keeping in mind that I have a big bag of dicks.
That I do have a large sack of caribou penises. Don't ask where I got them. Jesus,
No,
stop
you
auditioning
like
for
this.
Fear Factor. Johnny Knoxville got the job. You lost. You are not getting the reboot.
So you like this album?
No, that's not what I said. I don't know that I hate it.
Ugh, gonna make you hate it.
I'm going to make you hate it.
I already do.
Yay, I win again. I'll defend myself at general thoughts, but we're not there yet. Before we can do that, Timmy, I'm curious, prior to this week, pretty sure I know the reason, but I'm going to ask it anyway because it's the season. What's your history with Type O Negative? Had you heard this or any other song by this band ever ever. Did you know what a typo negative was?
Well, Garrett, I have no history with this band. I have no history with this album. I have a lot of history with one of the songs on this album, but not as performed by this band. We will get to that. It makes me real angry. Now, as I look on the list of things to discuss in this section of the show, my blood type, I don't know why we're discussing this, but it is actually typo negative. So much like the insults, I can dish it out. I simply cannot take it. I am a real pile of hypocrisy here. But to be clear, I still cannot give blood due to my late 80s, early 90s exposure to prions, my repeated infection with malaria in the 2000s, my 2010s exposure to a single Nosferatu, and my ongoing exposure to Central Park rabies.
Not to mention those 2 summers you spent as a really weird emo kid.
That's true.
We'll cut that one. That was just for me.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Tim. Wait a second now. Your blood type is O negative?
Yes.
Does that make you a universal donor?
Yes. Except for the prions, malaria, Nosferatu, and rabies.
Interesting. I'll bet people would pay good money for those fluids if they didn't know the source.
What about you, Garrett? What is your blood type? How frequently do you donate blood? And in a completely unrelated matter, where do you donate your fresh, delicious blood?
Don't know my blood type, because why would I? I donate annually, and usually into a truck by the side of the road.
Interesting. You should look at your dog tag. That usually has it on there.
Full disclosure, my dog tag says I did it as a goof, but they did it. Now I gotta stick with it. Anyway.
Alafia!
In all seriousness, prior to this week, I, turns out, have never heard typo negative. I thought surely I had run into this band in one of their songs at some point, but after some light sleuthing, I couldn't find a single hit I was familiar with.
Yeah, and you're right.
Which was shocking. Even more so, and of course, we'll get into it in the general thoughts, but not only had I never heard typo negative, I had obviously heard of typo negative, but my anticipation of what they were going to sound like couldn't have been more wrong.
Did you think it was going to be nu metal?
I thought it was going to be indecipherable screaming.
Yeah, I was expecting nu metal. Rappy nu metal.
Wrong.
Yep.
You were closer to right than I was.
I don't know about that. I'm pretty far off.
Closer. There's some down-tuned guitars on a couple songs. Okay, that's your history. That's my history. That is to say, none whatsoever. A couple 1-2 typo virgins coming into the week, and now we're a couple of rust sluts. I regret everything I just said.
Garrett, it's only going to get more after dark from here. Frankly,
strap in, everybody.
This is a good warning for our
Everyone.
audience. Yeah.
Yep, good stuff. Alrighty, that's all the histories, and that brings us to the most important history of all, Tim, the history of the band. So take me on a journey, help you understand who is typo negative, what's an October Rust, and how did all of this fucking happen?
Typo Negative was formed in Brooklyn, go Dodgers, as a collabo between Peter Steele on bass and vocals, Kenny Hickey on guitar and vocals, Josh Silver on keys and defibrillator pedals, more on that later, and Sal Abroscato on drums. Now, I'm going to focus almost exclusively on Peter Steele for this. Peter was born Peter Thomas Ratajczyk, after which Gino has once again written, quote, Polish, ? Unquote. He was born in 1962 Brooklyn with 5 older sisters to a shipyard worker World War II vet father, which sounds like a horrible, harsh childhood. He took guitar lessons and bass lessons starting at 12, and he would grow to just absolutely monstrous proportions, Garrett. He hit 6'8", and according to the internet, was known for his quote-unquote vampiric appearance. More on those 2 facts later. They may become important in 2010. Possible spoilers. He went to Edward R. Murrow High School, go Wildcats, before entering the happiest period of his life, when he worked for the Big Apple Parks and Recreation Department, doing park maintenance, driving steamrollers, and driving garbage trucks. He did that, I think, up through being in this band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In 1979, he was in the band Fallout, then Carnivore. He was in another band called Aggression as the guitarist, but the band threatened to kick him out unless he played bass, and he could not afford a left-handed bass as he was left-handed, so he switched handedness, something I'm told vampires can do at will. He also took on the presumably pornographic stage name Peter Steele around this time. More on that later. Peter Steele attempted to kill himself in 1989, saying, on October 15th, 15th, 1989, I slashed my wrists. All I can say is I fell in love with the wrong person. When that didn't work, he formed a band with the rest of these Brooklynites, also in 1989, originally as Repulsion, but they had to change that after an American grindcore band had the same name. Pete then wanted to call them Sub-Zero. He either designed or actually got a tattoo for that band's logo. The internet was a little unclear on that point, but then he discovered that another band had that name. Luckily, he heard a radio ad that was requesting Type O negative blood donations and thought, that's just dumb enough to be unique, and Type O negative was born.
For their type of music, good name.
That's fair. Luckily, Pete already had a multi-album contract with Roadrunner Records for when he was in that band Carnivore, a band that broke up and no longer existed. So he just gave them a demo of this new band, and instead of a protracted legal battle with the record company, decided it would just be cheaper to release a bunch of Type O negative albums for a while, which is convenient for everyone involved. Stories on this vary, but Pete signed his Type O negative Roadrunner contract in either a mixture of suave hair conditioner and chocolate syrup, or, as he would like you to believe, blood and semen.
Gross.
Yeah, they're almost equally inappropriate, though. Like, use a goddamn pen, you cunt.
Yeah.
What's wrong with this guy? Type O negative's first album, Slow, Deep, and Hard, was released in 1991, written in a single night after a different breakup, this time as a placeholder for trying to kill himself. That album had song suites with titles such as Unsuccessfully Coping with the Natural Beauty of Infidelity, Der Untermensch, Socioparasite, Jackhammer Rape, and Gravitational Constant G equals 6.67 times 10 to the negative 8th, centimeters to the negative 3rd, grams to the negative 1, seconds to the negative 2. Now, on tour for the album Slow, Deep, and Hard in Europe, Pete got himself into a bit of a pickle because the European press disapproved of his social and political commentary to the point where he was accused of being a Nazi sympathizer. He said that the press in the old country misunderstood his humor, his sarcasm was lost in translation to print, and that he was not aligned with the Third Reich. Instead, he served a much older master, Nosferatu, the great vampire, and was a student of the Solomonari.
What the fuck is that?
It's the ancient order that can trace its lineage to King Solomon and does a whole bunch of weird bullshit. We'll get into it.
Well, okay, okay.
To be clear, though, he wants you to know he is not a Nazi. Those other things, the Nosferatu, the Solomonari, that's fine, but he wants to be really clear, not a Nazi. He could follow in a tradition of the undead and black magic that uses the blood of the innocent to stave off death and could trace its lineage back to King Solomon, but he is not a Nazi, even though he did write that song about Der Untermensch and, some stuff like that.
I don't think he necessarily knew the historical implications.
He's a smart guy, Garrett. I actually think he would fit in with the current political climate quite well. In a 2007 interview, he identified himself as a conscientious conservative, stating he was pro-police, pro-government, pro-parent, and that most of his political views were in direct opposition to socialism and any left-wing politics.
Got it.
Not a Nazi. Anyway.
You know what's better than being for stuff, Tim?
Against
Just
stuff.
being against
That's
stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it's much easier, too.
Yeah. Anyway, Type O negative then went on to make a sophomore album that was a fake live album that was mostly their first album and also a couple new things. It was, of course, produced by P.T. Barnum. It featured a sort of cover of Hey Joe, a very hostile crowd, which I find kind of funny, and an evacuation of the venue after a fake bomb threat. It was, of course, called The Origin of the Feces, which is apparently a Charles Darwin joke, and original copies of the album cover feature a close-up of Pete's spread asshole with a feces-scented scratch and sniff.
Why would you want that?
I don't know, Garrett. They released Bloody Kisses in 1993. That was eventually certified gold and seems to be fairly well regarded by everyone except for Rolling Stone. Their drummer Sal quit to join the band Life of Agony, and they hired their drum tech Johnny Kelly as their new drummist. And this is, I guess, the final lineup for this band. This is who they're going to be until they're not a band anymore. In 1995, Garrett, Pete posed for Playgirl. So if you'd like to see that hot dick, you absolutely can.
Hard pass.
Well, I don't see why I should be the only one here who's seen it.
I don't know. How did you learn this?
I do the goddamn research. I do the heavy lifting.
I told you to stop entering band name plus penis for every episode.
Sometimes it's relevant, Garrett. It comes up a lot in this album. We'll get there. He later found out, quote-unquote, via bandmate Kenny Hickey's contacts, that only about 23% of subscribers were female, and he apparently regretted the decision after a bunch of men hit on him and asked him to sign copies. He said, "After I did it, I thought, oh my god, what did I do? It was more than upsetting that so many guys had it. Girls, okay, but there just seemed to be at least as many guys. Not that I'm homophobic, but it was certainly irritating." He would later appear as a guest on Ricky Lake and also Jerry Springer. I don't know if it was related to his music or just his personality or his vampirism or that Playgirl. I did not watch those.
God, that's... Of course it's for gay men.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine that photo shoot? Oh, it should also be mentioned all of these men are, especially this guy, aggressively New Yorkers.
Oh, yeah.
But can you imagine that photo shoot where he's just like, so like, all the ladies are gonna see it, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird how I've never met a woman who like, likes pornography, but you guys have a whole magazine for it. Yeah. Does he not know this is for gay men? I don't think so.
Nope.
How fun. And then he probably said some pretty off-color shit, and they were like, awesome.
Yeah, it's a great interview. Typo Negative followed that centerfold up in 1996 with the album of the week October Rust and World Coming Down in 1999, which includes a medley of Day Tripper, If I Needed Someone, and I Want You, She's So Heavy that cost their label an absolute shit ton of money.
Probably worth it though, right? To get that sweet cover.
Absolutely. They released Life Is Killing Me in 2003. That included a cover of the Munsters theme, a cover of an off-Broadway musical about a sex change operation gone awry, and a song called I Like Goyles about how Pete was frustrated that gay men made a series of advances on him after that Playgirl shoot, with him again claiming he thought only women were allowed to read Playgirl.
Look, I will dismiss and even accept that this guy was like, I'm gonna get so fucking laid from doing this with all these chicks, only to find out like, oh yeah, ladies don't read that. Sure, not a logical mistake, but I could see it happening with this dude. But to then feel compelled to be like, I gotta get a song out there so everybody knows it. Like, okay. Maybe just let it be and stop attracting attention to the whole thing.
It's good to have like permanent documentation of your,
your straightness.
Yeah.
Just
so,
reminds me of our shit. People are still doing it today. I don't know if you remember a couple months ago. I like pretty girls. Yeah,
absolutely. But the good thing is, like, for both of these guys, like for Willard Smith, for example, now his Wikipedia entry can have a thing that says Will Smith likes women and is straight. And then the nice thing is you get that
not weird.
Well, no. The nice thing is you get that official citation that links down to the song.
That's as good as gold.
Yeah, that's official.
Then at that point, people can say whatever they want.
Holds up in court. In 2005, Garrett, Pete disappeared for months with no explanation until a 2006 interview when he mentions a couple of things. Going to rehab, being in the psych ward at Kings County Hospital, and briefly being incarcerated at Rikers Island. Go Wildcats. Apparently, his family did an intervention for his growing paranoia secondary to severe alcoholism and cocaine, bipolar disorder, and he was sentenced to 30 days in prison for one of two things, either a parole violation or, and I'm quoting here, assaulting a love rival.
What? For, I don't know, 24 hours of guesses and a book of law, and I would never have gotten to assaulting a love rival?
Well, it's probably not phrased that way in the book of law.
Oh, okay. How did you come up with that phrasing? Is that a Tim original?
No, this is a direct quote from the internet. This is what he said, or somebody. Yeah, I mean, I believe it's actually a quote from him.
Okay, well, that's better. Sometimes you get into like New Jersey, Louisiana, like there are places in this country that have like very specific laws and torts where you're just like, really? Okay, I guess you could charge me with that. Glad to learn that that's not the case.
No.
All right.
He was not in a place where where he was legally allowed to assault a love rival.
Right. All right.
Typo Negative released Dead Again in 2007 with album art featuring fellow tall, vampirish ghoul Grigory Rasputin on the cover. That same year, Pete reaffirmed his Catholic faith from his childhood after years of being an atheist and possibly a vampire, which is something I was unaware a vampire could go back and do.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Then, Garrett, on April 14th, 2010, at the age of 48, Peter Steele died. It was initially reported to be a heart failure or an aortic aneurysm. Based on his marfanoid habitus, I assume that to be the cause. Although other sources list sepsis secondary to diverticulitis and claim that the heart failure was incorrect. Now, I don't know how you feel about this, but given his vampiric appearance and presumed adherence to the old ways, his Soleimani tradition, Garrett, do you think the diverticulitis might have been a cover story to keep the public from knowing, a couple of things. One, that demons walk among us, and also that he was Van Helsinged.
So, okay, why are you zeroing in on the diverticulitis? Because like you're just saying that in general was a cover for his death?
Well, I think that somebody was just like, something horrible happened to this man's heart, because of the Van Helsing. And then they're like, we gotta say something different. Diverticulitis.
Okay, so he is dead. You're not wondering whether or not he faked his death in some sort of vampiric ruse. You think he was Van Helsinged, and then they were like, what are we going to call this?
Yeah.
Diverticulitis.
Yes.
Sure. Does that kill people?
You get sepsis from it. Yeah, that's apparently, which is not a fun way to go.
God, no, it seems slow and then awful.
Yep, slow and then fast. A few months later, the rest of the band declared they would not be reforming without him. They were done with music. One of his bandmates, Josh Silver, decided to retire from music entirely and became a Big Apple paramedic with the FDNY, which he had started training for as a plan B during that time Pete was in the psych ward and rehab in possibly prison. Weirdly, this is the second time we've come across this. I think one of the guys in Fun or one of the Fun-related bands left to become an EMT too. Yeah, so very recently this also happened. And Josh, if you're out there, if you're listening, we might need you to bring the Narcan over because these interns are getting sleepy.
They don't look great.
No, they look blue. Garrett, that's all the history I have for you. I just would like to reiterate that this man posed for Playboy or Playgirl in 1995. So if you would like to see his dick, you can. Do you remember when we talked about Ray J and you kept going on about what good dick he had?
I feel like you entirely missed the point of that part of the episode.
I was very distracted by how intimately knowledgeable you seemed about good dick and what makes good dick. The point is, Garrett, maybe check out this guy's hug. See,
I don't want to check out his hug.
It's wild.
The only point I was making was that I had seen the video and she seemed to enjoy herself. It's not that weird of a statement. I'm going to ban all talk of wild hogs until you agree to do the goddamn episode.
All right.
Release the hogs, cat. I don't even know why I say it that way. I mean, obviously it was in some episode of Family Guy, but I just, for some reason, Peter saying wild hogs makes me laugh really hard.
Yeah.
Great history, Tim. That is to say, we must move on. That brings us to general thoughts. As I mentioned previously, this is not the experience I was anticipating this week. And on the one hand, I'm grateful.
Yeah, I was predicting maybe worse than this, but not. This is not enough of a relief that I did not hate it.
All right, let me break down why I don't hate it. Let me start there. Or maybe we should speak generally. Let's speak generally, and then I'll try to defend myself. Generally, this is doom rock?
It's doom metal, like gothic metal, I guess.
Yeah, but it's never it's not very hardcore.
No, well, the part of the problem is that every time he gets a little spooky, his horniness outcompetes the spookiness for focus.
It's a very horny album.
Yeah.
The singing styles, they range, and we'll get into them, but the one that I want to talk about the most is Dracula accent.
Yeah, it's weird. Okay, so his voice, it's too deep in general for this material. It makes it sound real weird when he's singing about his gross sex stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's too deep. But yeah, he does a vaguely British kind of old world accent, which again, probably because he adheres to the old ways, that's probably something he learned in some sort of class that he went to.
Gino, mark it down to Google the old ways. Yeah, he keeps saying it, and I'm scared to ask. Please go ahead.
Would you like me to talk about the old ones?
No, please don't do any of that.
All right.
Fucking God.
But you're right. And I'm going to talk about it a number of times. He does several different voices. Like,
yes.
Like there's a part where he's rolling those R's. There's a part where he's doing like some sort of mush mouth where it sounds like he's making fun of the lyrics. We'll get to that because I really hate that.
Yeah. My favorite is Dracula accent where he rolls the R's. Sweat drips from her breast.
Yeah, it's distracting. And again,
it's hilarious.
But his voice is an octave lower than what you're doing right there, which makes it
he's got that, and yes, it is. But also, I want to be real clear. There's also a deeper one than Dracula voice. There's just like, there's Andre the Giant voice. Hello. We can't do a bunch of Andre the Giants, but we should. It's all over the map. And then I will say, he also has just kind of like generic rock voice, which is the least featured voice on the whole album.
Yeah, like he does like that just between a yell and a sing kind of thing that you get with this type of rock, right? Like the what you would expect from 1996 rock.
Yes, well put. And it's, it's your Bushes.
Yeah.
Like, but worse.
It's Bush. There's a little Nine Inch Nails. It gets a little there's a mix of post-grunge and industrial in addition to the doom rock, the goth metal or whatever, which is also kind of fun because the cover is perfectly 1996, and I think it would work perfectly as an album cover for either Bush or Nine Inch Nails.
It sucks so much.
Yeah,
it's just like 4 rose stems on a black background.
Well, Garrett, you see, he's showing the thorns on the rose, right? Not the actual rose itself. It's pretty deep if you think about it.
God, another sounds like that maybe I'll call out on a specific song. I want to say I wrote it down, but I cannot forget to mention it. At least a couple of these songs, as well as sounding like Dracula rock, reminded me of one of my favorite late 90s comedies, Dead Man on Campus. My words are my spoon.
Absolutely. It's that, and it's also it's both the kid from F is for Family's band and also the band that he likes, Shire of Frodo, where it's just, it's spooky in the lamest possible way. It's graphically sexual, but in a way that makes you question whether he understands the mechanics of sex. It brings up brand new metaphors as if they're commonplace, despite the fact that they're things like meat triangle. We'll get into it. They are obnoxious. Also, this might be the worst thing about this, Garrett. This album is obnoxiously long. There are...
This is the thing that might tip me over the edge, because I'm about to start defending it, but before I do, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
This thing's so long.
There are 9 songs that are longer than 5 minutes. 4 of those songs are longer than 7 minutes. One of these songs clocks in at over 10 minutes. It is needless. None of them are long, or like lyrically, like there's not a lot of lyrics to any of these. There's not really much interesting instrumentation. There's 1 or 2 bits that I kind of really enjoy, but for the most part, I mean, there's not like a bunch of like guitar solos or something. It's just self-indulgent, again, in that way that a 90s band could be, where it's just like, it's long, there's no lyrics, there's no, like, is there...
No, it's just listen to us jam for 2 minutes more.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else need to be said here? Because we got a lot to get through. I don't want to waste too much time. We mentioned the cover. We mentioned the length. My God, the length. The number of tracks is too many. There's too much nonsense in here. The topics are varied and questionable, with the majority of them centering around his need for sexing.
Yeah, and the ones that start going in a different direction eventually kind of come back to that.
He can't help himself.
It's like he tried to be spooky, then got aroused by his own spooky lyrics and started singing about banging again.
And I want to say, folks, I think it happens somewhere between track 9 and 12. If you start to lag and you're like, oh boy, I don't know if I'm going to make it, hang in there. Because that has one of, not just on the album, not just on the episode, one of, for the show, grossest songs I've ever seen.
There's like 2 of them on here that are pretty upsetting.
Yeah, but there's one.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. We will...
I stopped listening and ran to the other room and goes, hey, listen to this. Iron is in the air. She was just like, oh, just stop. It's good stuff.
You're not into this, right?
This isn't like a thing guys secretly like. No, it is not. Alrighty, let's get into it, Tim, because we got a long road to hoe. Track number 1, Bad Ground.
not a song. This is 38 Seconds of Buzzing. It is apparently a hilarious joke.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with their use of the word joke, but that is what happens. So let's continue. Track number 2, spoken word intro.
Thank you for picking up our latest recording of October Rust.
Yeah, we spent a couple of months getting...
Mine called this Untitled. Also not a song. Basically, this is these guys. The one thing I really enjoyed about this in particular is you get to hear their just normal speaking voices. Because as you've alluded to or possibly just said outright, these guys, they're from Brooklyn, but goddammit, they're all from Staten Island, or at least that's where their dialect coaches came from, because...
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It catches me off guard every time, because, you listen through over and over for the nature of our show, and just out of nowhere you hear Johnny, we just wanted to thank you and take a minute for picking up our latest recording of October Rust. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, as one guy does a chicken noise.
Yeah, there are chickens. A lot of laughing, too.
Yeah, well, it's very funny.
We must continue. It was not. Especially not around listen 7 or 8. Track number 3, Love You to Death.
Well, we have at least a song. So
it's a 7-minute song, so careful what you wish for.
That's true, but it is at least a song, and out of nowhere, incredibly sexy.
Yeah, start with some sultry piano that eventually gets to the guitar and synth, and it's sort of a Cure sound. I had a hard time with my sounds likes.
Yeah, it is that, it's 96, but it also, so it's got the industrial, it's got the doom, it's got the post-grunge, but you're right, it does have some of that, late 80s, new wave almost stuff in here as well.
Yeah, you'll get some Cure, you'll get some other shit I wrote down that I don't remember. We'll get there. Let's start it off. So this is my first recorded instance of what I like to call Dracula accent. In her place, 100 candles burning. Her salty sweat drips from her breast. Her hips move and I feel what they're saying, swaying. They say the beast inside of me is gonna get ya, yeah.
So, yeah, he is all horned up, Garrett. This was written before Eyes Wide Shut, right?
I believe so.
Okay, because it has and it gets more and more like that as we go on through this song, but it has a very, I'm being sexy, but in an Eyes Wide Shut kind of thing. It's I don't know.
An off-putting, non-sexy way.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, Nicole Kidman is a part of some of the least sexy scenes I've ever seen in film. She's also in that Killing of a Sacred Deer, playing a lifeless corpse that her husband likes to have sex with. Fun movie. Anyway, back to this. So it sounds like they're either sexing or he wants to be sexing. She's got sweaty tits and her hips are moving. And he's got a beast his words, not mine. And he's got a beast inside him that's going to, quote, get ya.
Yeah, and like a lot of people that we talk about, he has a beast, but luckily, this guy's beast is a sex beast.
Right. Second verse feels a little bit more like Tears for Fears, shout. Just vocally, to be clear. Anyway, song continues. Black lipstick stains her glass of red wine. I am your servant. May I light your cigarette? And I got to stop there because I'm like, wait a minute. What's going on here? First question. I've never considered, if you went on a date with a goth chick, she's going to have black lipstick stains on that wine glass.
Yeah.
How weird.
Yeah. I like the idea, though, that the first part of it is just it's a weird fantasy, right? He's the waiter at this restaurant, because you could smoke in them in 1996. And so, he's got this whole oh yeah, her salty sweat and the beast inside of me. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was daydreaming. Can I light your cigarette?
I see. Yeah. So she's hanging out with her lady friends, or maybe even on a date with her special fella, and he's just oh, let me show you the wine list, while secretly he's thinking about his unleashed beast.
Yeah, and I mean, he's of course standing above her, 6'8", vampiric in appearance and rock hard.
I apologize for my penis.
I never apologize for my penis.
That's good policy.
No, it's not.
Song continues. I beg to serve your wishes, my law. Now close those eyes and let me love you to death. Shall I prove I mean what I'm saying? Begging. I say the beast inside of me is gonna get ya, yeah. Now, Tim, stay with me for a second here. Is this a soft pitch for a snuff film?
Ooh.
Shall I prove prove what I mean, what I'm saying. He's begging to serve. Her wish is her law. Now close your eyes and let me love you to death. Let me just kill you at the end.
I think he just wants to go beast mode on her, and that's fine.
Gross. Maybe he wants to turn her into the undead.
Well, we don't even know.
Love you to death.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then
you're all
bring you
goth,
back.
but I could double that goth.
Yes, it is super goth. The undead.
Yeah.
Why are you talking like that? Your mother said you've always lived here. Did you go abroad?
No, does this not arouse you?
I have made
Not
contact
really.
with the old ones. I am Solomon.
Stop mentioning the old ones. I am specifically concerned now with your old ones and your old world. Are you summoning something? You have to tell me if you're summoning
I
something.
am not. But I do love that it immediately goes from this this unearned confidence of the beast inside him is gonna love him to death to am I good enough for you? Am I good enough for you? Am I?
Yeah, I'm begging you.
Yeah,
Please,
it gets sad
let me
real
let my
quick.
beast inside you. Mm-hmm. Let me love you too. Let me love you to death. To death. Am I good enough for you? Am I good enough for you? This is where I thought he was trying to neg her into that snuff film. Just like, what? You don't think I'm good enough for you to be in a snuff film with me? You'll have sex, but you won't let me murder you at the end? Fine. Thought we were close. It's probably not. It's probably not that. That's a tough argument to win.
Yeah.
Alrighty, outro's more of the same, and that brings us to track number 4, the very confusing Be My Druidess.
I like the word druidess, though.
Yeah, I had to do some Googling.
Not me.
Oh god damn it. Opens with a very catchy guitar riff before the song transforms entirely, settling into something that's more like what we'd expect from this band.
Yeah, it's
I
a
kind of
little-
classify it as like less aggressive Deftones.
Yeah, that's fair. It does start off with more rocky. It's got a little bit of industrial stuff. And then the singing begins. And listen, Garrett, this one, and it's not that he's going to do this much worse later. I'm going to insult it much worse. But this one, he sings, like, when I sing, I am, of course, not confident with my actual voice or with my singing voice because it is terrible and I shouldn't be. So often if I sing, I do like kind of a jokey voice that's both mocking what I'm singing and also hiding my own shame. See last week's prepisode, for example, unless we cut that. But he seems to be doing that to a degree as well, right? Like, be my druid. Like, he does like this.
I think that's how he sings, or he thinks singing is.
Maybe.
I will do my best version because I am overconfident with my poor singing voice. It is something akin to Be My Druidess. Something like that.
Yeah, but there's like more warbling on it.
Oh, perhaps I can't warble then. Let's get into it, because what in the world is this about? He says, as
The
we've
old
mentioned
ways.
several times. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to fight that off, listeners. Anyway, he says, as we've mentioned, Be my druidess. Be my everything. Be my druidess. Be mine. I'm picturing some sort of Renaissance fair and or like, and please, listeners, forgive me, not you guys. You guys get it. You're here, but some sort of nerd fest.
Yeah.
Like,
Might I interest you in being my druidess for the evening?
that sort of a deal.
Yeah, and you say that, but then you notice that dark clouds are gathering directly behind him.
I've learned to control the dark ways of the old world. With texts from the undead.
Let's see. Song continues. Around the pyre, a circle of 13. Throughout these woods, ecstatic screams. I look deeply into your eyes. I smell your hair, caress your thighs. Now we'll make love by firelight.
It immediately gets so horny.
Tim, would you like to try to define druidess?
Well, it's
Some sort of like wood nymph?
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, it's sort of a pagan priestess, I think. So not quite a witch, because her religion is not that of the devil; it is that of the old ways.
Nature? Is the old ways sort of a synonym for like nature and the seasons?
Those are included, of course. Yes.
How many tracks before you say the words mother box?
I'm deleting it from my notes right now.
Not four.
Yeah, but he kind of gives up the ghost here, right? Like it's just he just wants to bang, right? Like he is fine with pretending to be, into like witches and druids, but it's about the banging. It's about the banging for him.
Ultimately. And I've heard, Tim, that Renaissance fairs are chock full of banging.
I'm sure. Wouldn't you?
Gross. What does that mean, wouldn't
Well,
I?
I mean, look, you think about like some sort of cool historic outfit, but you think if you were actually back in that time, how bad everyone would smell? Like they've got poop on them,
Sure.
Garrett. Now you got an option.
That's the best part.
Well, right. But it's not the best part.
That's a good point.
Clear.
It is not the most offensive thing on them.
Absolutely. But my point is that now you get to get that old, the old clothing and that old, the Renaissance thing. But everyone's relatively pretty clean. They smell of soap. It's nice.
So for those of you who are into feudalism play, now you can get down, but all the modern conveniences like lubricant and deodorant.
I have some incredibly bad news for you about the future of this country. We're all going to be doing feudalism play so soon.
Oh, some of you will barter, others will become small leaders of, I don't want to say death squads, but
yeah, I mean,
that's
they will
what we'll be.
Luckily, you were trained at the School of the Americas. Some of us will barter, some of us will be bartered.
Yeah, some of us will scavenge for food, some of us will be scavenged for food. Mm-hmm. Correction, some of you will be scavenged for food. I will.
Some of us will build a pyramid of skulls.
But only one of us will have the tallest pyramid.
A blaze so high it lights the night. Long fingernails dug in my skin. Yourself so wet invites me in. Garrett, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be as gross as it gets on this album, but it's not even close.
Well, here's the thing. So you have to put into context where he actually was. Where this 6'8" vampiric appearing man was when he was actually writing this. This man...
Central Park.
Well, I think it was actually one of the lesser Brooklyn parks, but we'll say for sake of argument, Central Park. Is he banging in Central Park? Is he using...
Entirely possible.
Yeah. I mean, I would say almost certainly that this man has banged in a Big Apple park.
Well, who among us hasn't? That's not a crime.
First of all, it is, and also Tim.
Gino, check it out. Sex in a Park, crime, mark the time. We'll find out.
Garrett, I promise you it is.
I don't think so. I think Giuliani changed it.
No, he changed it in the opposite direction of what you're thinking. Yeah, it used to be a civil offense. Now it's definitely a criminal offense.
Agree to disagree. We're going to check it. You know what? I don't even have to say that. We're going to check it.
Our lust increased, feeds desire as we combust. Yeah, we on fire. I feel you shake so deep inside. Ooh, scream my name and squeeze me tight. Garrett's uncomfortably horny.
Yeah, I don't like it when you say those words. Outdoor sex. Listeners write in hatePodMail@gmail.com. Hot take. Not worth it.
Because of the splinters.
Because of the everything. Like, there's no outdoor furniture that's particularly comfortable. Then you've got the standing maneuver, which, I suppose, but I guess I'm just a lazy lover. It's really more about the post-sex situation, right? I like a hot shower. If you're out in the middle of the wilderness, when you can go back to the party and mingle among your friends with Steve dripping down your leg, come on, Mary, have some self-respect. Go home and take a shower. It's not her fault, but for God's sake, everybody's going to be sticky. They're going to smell it. Smell like sex around here? Oh, God, you're animals. Go home. Ruining this Ren Fair for all of us.
I'll do anything to make you come.
Oh, God, warn me before you. Can we have like a code word when you're about to say something that makes me literally throw up in my mouth?
Here's the thing. I did not read that in a Buffalo Bill voice, but he does.
Yeah, he does. Okay, hold on. This is important. This is why you're here, Tim. I almost just glossed over it. This is where the song style changes. His voice gets deeper, and he says, I'm going to do my best. I don't go this deep. I'll do anything to make you come. I'm not kidding, gang. Like 7 or 8 times with the deep breath and the pause. It's in my notes, so I didn't miss it. I'll do anything to make you come. That's a song.
Here's the thing. If this had come out a couple years later, let's say 2002, the line would have definitely been, I'll do anything to make you come, no homo. Because
Limp Bizkit would have been on the scene.
Well, and also there's all those men that are getting him to sign that Playgirl. It seemed... Very upset by it.
Yeah, I know. A lot of men must have been super confused with this album combined with his Playgirl.
Oh, yeah. It honestly, this combined with the Playgirl seems like it was an attempt. Like, this makes me think he was 100% serious when he was just like, this is going to get me so many ladies. Because it feels like he watched, like, Hendrix, using the guitar as a dick, or Jim Morrison, or someone perform, and thought, like, this is just an advert for fucking this guy, right? Like, that's all he's up there doing, Why don't I just why don't I just say it? Why don't I just say it in a voice that implies that coming will be the last thing you ever do? And maybe this can be a companion piece to that time I showed that hot dick and Playgirl.
Yeah, the problem is that you also chose a vampire aesthetic, and so everybody watching just assumed it was a leather daddy thing, and you've attracted literally the exact opposite people than what you wanted.
Yeah.
Can't pick your audience. You just got to deal with them.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of,
yeah,
you son of a bitch.
This is a good moment before we move on to just say, and we mean this from the bottom of our heart, thank you, Una, and fuck you. This was brutal. This consumed so much of my free time over the last week. Una, you owe me $1.98.
Yeah, that's fair.
Alrighty, track number 5, Green Man. Let me set the stage, Tim. From author, scribe, band member, Peter Steele. I worked for New York City's Department of Parks and Recreation. My job involved cleaning up human shit and driving snowplows and dump trucks before I became park supervisor. I got promoted 4 times in 7 years, but I had to leave in 1994 when Motley Crue asked Typo Negative to tour with them. That is what this song is about. Working in the Parks Department, which will both surprise you and confuse you.
Yeah, I like to think it's about being a Central Park pervert while working in the Parks Department, but otherwise, absolutely.
We'll get into it. All right, we open with birds chirping and the sound of someone cleaning up and maybe watering the grass. Unclear.
Yes, and he is, of course, the titular Green Man, which is, of course, a Wiccan kind of an old ways type thing. It's spooky. It's definitely spooky, Garrett. It represents...
I referred to him as a springtime reverse snowman.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, so I guess sort of a swamp thing.
Yeah. Well, because here's the thing. This song, the way he describes himself in this song, it feels like he is a homeless man living in the park, presumably, as you described, naked and covered in green, and just having to, like, deal with the various seasons and the hardship that
I'm under the impression that he is thriving on photosynthesis and does not consume normal food.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's a greenman. More Dracula singing. Can't ever forget that that's a thing. Song begins. Spring won't come, the need of strife, to struggle to be freed from hard ground. The evening mist, the creep and crawl, will drench me in dew and so drown. Some sort of plant or bug is what I was thinking at first. I'm the green man. The green man. Oh, he's the green man. Some sort of plant guy. Reverse. I literally wrote reverse snowman swamp thing situation.
I like that. I like the swamp thing.
All right. Soul in prime sweet summertime, cast shadows of doubt on my face. A midday sun, its caustic hues, refracting within the still lake.
The lake is gross over the summer.
Yeah, it gets super full of horrible algae. It sounds like he likes summer, but it sometimes gets a little too hot for him.
That's a fair assessment of this city.
That is a good summary. Song continues. Autumn in her flaming dress of orange brown, golden fallen leaves, my mistress of the frigid night, I worship, pray to on my knees. I think he's begging Autumn not to come or to kill him.
I think begging her to come because he would like to bang Autumn.
Oh, he wants Autumn.
Yeah, I think
Autumn
so.
in her flaming dress. My mistress of the frigid night. You're right. He's banging that lady.
Yeah, it's a little chilly, but he's still aroused by it.
Yeah, he's into it. Unfortunately, Tim, when Autumn comes, she brings her annoying friend Winter. Song continues. Winter's breath of filthy snow, befrosted paths to the unknown. Have my lips turned blue-purple? Life is coming to an end. So says me, my Wiccan friend. Nature coming full circle. So basically, yeah, he's winter. I love the phrase, winter's breath of filthy snow.
Yeah, that is also a pretty accurate summation of the city.
Yeah, God, snow is beautiful until the moment it gets just a little bit of dirt in it, and then it's disgusting. Or urine, or, New York.
It ends with him freezing to death, though, right?
Yeah, I think ultimately he was some sort of Wiccan god of the season.
Yeah, the Green Man.
Right. Mother box. Yeah, and he bangs Autumn to death until he freezes and his wiener gets frozen off.
Mm-hmm.
That'll
Track
happen.
number 6, Red Water, Christmas Morning, where morning is spelled morning in a delicious pun.
Although I don't know how the British spell it. Maybe they like to add U's to things.
He's not British, Garrett. He's from Brooklyn.
That's true.
This starts off with some horns, and then I guess back to the doom metal kind of thing.
Yeah, fuzzy guitar, maybe some synth, heavy distortion on the vocals, real subdued singing.
Yeah, this one, is apparently about Pete's dad, who apparently died on Christmas morning. And all I could think about once I knew that was that this was about, that his dad was essentially the Phoebe Cates' dad from Gremlins getting stuck in the chimney.
That's amazing, because I didn't know that, and I was like, I think he's commemorating a Christmas tragedy, possibly some sort of gremlin situation and or trampled by reindeer.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is definitely about a Christmas tragedy. Fun Gremlins fun fact number 899 while we're at it. Hoyt Axton, the guy that played Billy Peltzer's dad, his mom wrote more than 200 songs over her lifetime, including a co-writing credit on Heartbreak Hotel, and she introduced Elvis to Colonel Tom Parker. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, as you always say.
I do say that quite frequently, just never ever on the show. That's why the fans don't know.
Yeah.
God.
Anyway, Garrett, wake up, it's Christmas morn. Those loved have long since gone. The stockings are hung, but who cares? Preserved for those no longer there, 6 feet beneath me sleep. So he's hung up way too many stockings, and now he's sad, because all of his family is dead and got stuck in the chimney or eaten by gremlins or something.
Maybe he's become sort of a deranged murderer, and every year he commemorates the death of his father on Christmas by going out and picking one special house to come down the chimney and murder a family.
Oh, yeah.
And he's hanging up the stockings.
Yeah, all the while hoping that he, like his father, gets stuck in the chimney and that will, put an end to all
his
of
pain.
this. Yeah, exactly. But that's the only way
We've
he
all
can
been
go
there.
out. He can't do it himself. It's got to be an accident.
And not that any of our listeners will ever give this album the time necessary to appreciate this, but you and I gotta say right now, this song, way too much inhaling.
Yes.
Like there's a ton of like black lights.
Yeah, this is like,
hang from the tree.
it's so slowly whispered too. Black.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's really bad. And it's all sort of painting this picture of a very Tim Burton Christmas. He's mourning his Christmas disaster. He says, black lights hang from the tree, accents of dead holly. It seems like he's actively going out of his way to get spooky Halloween decor.
Yes. Well, mistletoe, it's growing cold. I'm seeing ghosts. I'm drinking old. Red water, red water, red water, red water, chase them away. So he's getting drunk on red wine and presumably consuming mistletoe, which is resulting in those ghostly hallucinations.
It can be deadly if you eat it.
Yeah, you have to it and take MOIs alongside of it, like ayahuasca. But
Love that you know that.
listener, do not try that. I do not know that. Oh my God.
Wait a minute. Are you implying that is a hallucinogen when taken with MAOIs?
I was implying that, but I would now immediately like to take that back because I feel like that's a huge liability.
Super irresponsible. Mistletoe, and this is true, will kill you.
Yeah.
Don't eat it. That we can leave in.
Yes.
We will have deleted the horrible advice that you just gave, but we will leave in me reprimanding you for such horrible advice.
My table's been set for 7. Just last year I dined with 11. God damn ye, merry gentlemen.
I think he's going in down the chimney, right? Murdering these families and then hanging up however many stockings in that house for his victims. So that's like why he's got his dead mistletoe and his weird black lights that he probably just painted nail polish over normal Christmas lights. And he's just like, you know what he's doing? He's creating his own little upside down Christmas. So everybody's dead and then we hang up the stockings and we get the dead mistletoe and the package is full of rotten bananas. I'm just a horrible little Christmas morning.
I like it. The other option, of course, the far less sinister option, is that everyone in his family is just getting tired of his shtick and keeps not showing up for Christmas. Like, I don't want to have another spooky Christmas this year. We all have to dress as Santa vamps. I don't even really know what that is. I'm fucking sick of it though.
Santa vamps. Come over to my house. We'll be Santa vamps, and you can have some red water. Hey, Kyle, it's wine. Okay, it's cheap wine. It might as well be red water, but it's wine. And what you're doing is called alcoholism. It's red water.
Yeah.
Instrumental interlude has some bells, French horn playing God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, and a girl crying for some reason.
As you do.
Also, this song has a bell rendition of Carol of the Bells.
Yeah, I did not care for this.
I had to look up the name of the song. I was like, what the fuck is that called? Which then became very difficult to Google.
I didn't have to look it up. I could have just told you, but then it ends very abruptly.
How do you know how did you know it was called Carol of the Bells?
Oh, I know. I
had to get there from
Trans-Siberian Orchestra is what you're thinking of.
Yeah. But they did the
I know about them, Garrett, because of Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
All right. If you don't want to tell me the truth, just don't tell me. All right, let's keep going, Tim. We're halfway there. My girlfriend's girlfriend. My girlfriend's girlfriend.
This starts off with a fun organ riff that's very 60s. I genuinely like it. It's slightly spooky, but it kind of works.
Yeah, this is sort of their Doors style free love. Let's just get down, ladies. But it is super deep and vampire-y, just to be clear.
Yeah, because when his dumb voice kicks back in, it absolutely does.
This is the one I wrote down. My words are my sperm.
Yes. Unfortunately, it's not a reference to his girlfriend being bi or gay or whatever, something like akin to Mike Birbiglia's My Girlfriend's Boyfriend. It's just about a threesome.
Yeah. A threesome, or possibly even just soliciting a threesome. I want to pick it apart. Okay. It's no secret we're close. As sweaty Velcro, like latex, fur, and feathers.
Not appealing.
Also, just not expressions. Sweaty Velcro?
Yeah.
Latex, fur, and feathers? Huh?
I don't know.
When does that happen? Is that like condoms and fur coats and birds?
Oh, well, there you go.
I have a lot of sex with animals. That's what it sounds like. Anyway, keeps going. Stuck together now in their 62 vet, showing one cigarette in a blacklight trance. Then go dance. Then go trance. Then let's pause there. On the surface, he's got two ladies, or at least his lady has a lady and he's allowed to watch or something. But my question to you, Tim, is he mentions go dance, then go trance. Is he using his vampiric powers to hypnotize these women into this throuple?
If he has them, that's what he's using them for.
Fascinating. They keep me warm on cold nights. We must be quite a sight in our meat triangle, all tangled. Wow.
The term meat triangle genuinely upset me, right? Because presumably it's just a reference to the fact that there are three of them, they are made of meat, and triangles have three sides. But sure. I like the idea that they don't really understand, they don't want to be left out, they don't want to just give everybody a turn. So they're all just standing around in a triangle, just kind of slapping front meat in a way that pleases nobody. They're all facing each other in a triangle, hip to hip, and just sort of slapping it.
I love the idea of the non-creative guy in a threesome. All right, everybody said yes. We're all super horned up. I can tell you're into it. How does this work? I've had sex with women, but then what are you up to? Ladies, I just don't think I can piece this together. Now, of course, in Meat Triangle, where my head went immediately is some sort of three-way fellatio cunnilingus thing.
Yeah, that's probably more accurate.
Lying down, doing side stuff.
Nah, mine's better.
Yours is funnier, I'll give you that. Mine's more just pornographic.
Yeah. Well, but if you need some pornography, I have a vintage copy of a 1995 Playgirl for you. It is upsetting.
It is a waste of $11 and potentially has ruined my eBay account.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I can never get him to sign it for me, so it's a huge waste.
God damn it.
This song would feel a lot more appropriate if it were a pop punk song than with this guy's weird voice.
Yeah. The deep vampire singing is odd for the content and style. He continues, my girlfriend's girlfriend, she looks like you. My girlfriend's girlfriend, she's my girl too. This is where I got the impression perhaps he's hitting on a woman and proposing a three-way, and she's a total stranger and not into this in the least.
Or she's a good friend of his girlfriend and not into this in the least.
Yeah, boy. Listeners, write in hatePodMail@gmail.com. This is one for the rare listener, the rare female listener. How often does this happen in your life where you got to be like, oh, no. What? Dude, too many movies. What the fuck is wrong with you? Is this happening? Are guys this stupid? I'm curious. I mean, not to say it doesn't happen. Three-ways happen, Tim. Three-ways happen. But they're not just falling out of trees like the TVs would have you believe.
Track number 8, Die With Me.
Oh,
Die With Me.
This is one of the few songs that I have like a real take on because the rest of them are really confusing and or stupid. We start with some airport noises, the lobby, maybe some planes taking off, and then we get some tinny acoustic guitar with way over mic'd whisper singing to open the song. He begins, now like a bird she flew away. No, now like a bird she flew away to chase her dreams of books and praise. Still I miss her. Yeah, I miss her since she's gone. So his lady took off to maybe go to college or pursue a career without him, and he misses her. Pretty simple.
Yes, he does miss her. I don't know if they're broken up or if, she's just away for a bit, but...
Yeah, I don't know that they broke up. She took off to pursue her dream, whatever that might be.
Yes.
Or at least that's what she wanted to do. All right, song continues. At JFK, who played the fool? Self-pity sick, jet fuel, perfume. Still I miss her. Yeah, I miss her since she's gone. So this is where I started to think about this, and originally I'm thinking he's there to say goodbye. We're at the airport saying our farewells till you come back from college or make it in the big city, whatever. And then I was thinking, well, maybe they're at JFK about to go together and he's going to like bring her to college or get her settled and then go back. And I'll explain why I believe that in just a second, but I want to check in. Any different reads so far?
I'm pretty much with you so far, yes.
All right. And then things take like a very strange turn, and that'll explain why I think what I think. He says, girl, I want to die with you in each other's arms. We'll drown in flame. Which is a dramatic, if not ominous turn. And I'm thinking that this is the moment where the woman in the story begins to panic. The titular her. Here's my take. Oh, let me get one more verse and then I'll lay it all out. So, song continues. If this time was the last time, could I hold you all lifelong? Since this time is the last time, can I hold you all night long? So, on the one hand, surface reading, they're at the airport saying goodbyes. He's wishing he could hold her forever. Fine. What I think happened is that he's at the airport. They're waiting to board their airplane. He's going to see her off. Maybe she's going off to college. She has a hot new job in the big city, following her dream, whatever. And he's being real mature about it. They've, been talking about it. It's the right thing to do. He's struggling, but he's going to get through it and he wants to see her off. But then in the airport, Tim, he starts in on that whole, we're going to die together and drown in flame. And she's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to run to the restroom. I'll be right back. Song continues. Hey, KLM, AT&T, the UK post system. Do you still love me? Still, I miss her. Yeah, I miss her since she's gone. I think she got terrified that this guy was going to bring down the entire airplane, went to the bathroom, and then ghosted this dude for life. And he's checking in with everywhere to figure out what the fuck happened.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect read. I was basically there except for the she got away kind of bit. In my read, he is just trying to parlay a breakup or a, temporary separation into a murder-suicide. But I think at least his intentions are the same in both of these.
Yeah, it was that last bit where he's like calling KLM, AT&T, like the UK postal system, and they're like, no, we have no record of her. And it's like, why else would he be calling all these places?
Yeah.
Ooh, unless he killed her and he's posing as her over in the UK and being like, oh yes, I've got to update all of my account information.
information.
This 6'8" vampiric man is trying to Tom Ripley his way into this, like, petite girl and pretend...
Yes, I am Beverly DeStefano.
You know, honestly, with his relationship history and his history of trying to kill himself after breakups and making albums about der Untermensch after breakups, might not have been an idle threat.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Track number 9, Burnt Flowers Fallen.
This is a nothing song.
Yeah, this is a nothing song. In fact, I can break down this whole song in 30 seconds if you want. Okay, guitar and singing feels a little like progressive post-grunge. I'm not entirely against it. As Tim mentioned, goat noises. But the song is entirely skippable, save for like one line that legitimately made me laugh. So the whole song, 6 minutes, is, yeah, I think she's falling out of love, and, oh yeah, I know she's falling out of love. 6 minutes of that. It's maddening. But you get one example of why he knows she's falling out of love, and boy howdy, if she does this, she is falling out of love. It's the most definitive, unique, and cutting thing I've ever heard of somebody doing. He says, all of the flowers I gave her, she burned them. That is message received, ma'am.
Well, not for him,
This
though.
is fucked. Well, no, not for him, but for me, personally, if you burn a bouquet of flowers, did you get the flowers I sent you? I did. They're out front. Oh, you should probably... Oh, God, they're on fire. That's okay. We're done. That's my whole read on it. Worth it for that one line of just like, wow, that is a very clear sign.
Fair enough.
Track number 10, In Praise of Bacchus.
I cannot stand the vocal effects in this song. They drive me absolutely... Oh, God damn it, you're gonna do them, huh? It's a song about being a sad drunk, a la the previous song. Bacchus was the god of agriculture, wine, and fertility. And, okay, so we need to get into one specific phrase here, because he says something in here that's really weird. It's more sad boy bullshit that might involve a murder at some point. He says, hey Bacchus, she hates me. Hey Bacchus, she hates me. The street lamps light a wet old Red Hook road. A furry vino-tinted slave, molten oil-painted Brooklyn Bridge cobblestone grave. Now, we've always been by the Brooklyn Bridge, the cobblestone streets. This is a pretty accurate description of it. But a furry vino-tinted slave. I didn't know what that meant, so I did a little research. According to Pete, it's a very personal song. Not to harp on the past, but when I tried to kill myself 7 years ago, I had parked my car in Red Hook, which is my old neighborhood in Brooklyn, and I was looking at the Brooklyn Bridge and it was raining, so it seemed like a molten oil painting bridge to me, and the streets are cobblestone. Okay, then it changes, because then he continues, when I get drunk, sometimes I use the word that I'm feeling furry, because it seems I'm feeling so nice and luscious that all my internal organs have sprouted fur, and they're all rubbing up against each other like I have a stomach full of kittens. I had said something about being a furry vino-tinted slave, meaning a slave to my emotions. Jesus fucking Christ, what?
You've had a tummy full of kittens before, haven't you?
I have, absolutely. I've had a tummy full of all sorts of stuff, but Jesus Christ, what this, imagine this man, this 6 foot tall, 6'8" vampiric man talking about his tummy kittens.
Yeah.
And how his internal organs have sprouted fur.
I mean, I've said warm and fuzzy inside. I don't know if I've ever said furry.
But okay, even if you say furry, just be like, oh shit, I meant to say fuzzy. Don't go on a 6-paragraph description of your organs brushing up against each other when both are furry.
Frankly, I'm out at tummy kittens.
Yeah, that's fair. A lonely blue girl guards the riverbed. She shakes her brown torch at the tide. On Pier 6, we creep and count the cracks. Side by side, see, we're counting the cracks. I think his girlfriend broke up with him. He goes down to kill himself, and he sees a lady cop guarding the pier, and he's like, hey, speaking of somebody else I could bang, maybe I bang this Lady Cup.
Yikes. I assumed it was the Statue of Liberty.
A lonely blue girl with a torch? No, that girl's green, Garrett.
Okay, we're really quibbling here. Also, he's drunk and talking about tummy kittens. I don't know if... I think there's some latitude here in the interpretation.
No, I assumed the blue girl was a reference to a police officer walking the dock who, I think the Amy Ryan from The Wire.
Oh, yeah. No, I got it. And he's like, hey, how's it going? My girlfriend broke up with me.
I was here to kill myself, but...
And she's like, sir, please move along. And he's like, you're kind of cute. Sir, please move along. I get your number. Don't walk away from me.
I'm 2 feet taller than you and filled with kittens.
I'll let out my tummy kittens and they'll eat your face. And then she obviously gets threatened. She tries to put him in handcuffs. He consumes her soul, chucks her under the pier. It's a tale as old as time. That pier doesn't even exist like that anymore. It's a park.
Yeah, they made a lot of changes I disagree with.
You liked it as a rusty, abandoned pier?
That's right.
God, Red Hook. Right in. hatePodMail@gmail.com. How
it's
you
nice
doing?
now. I mean...
It is nice.
It's very...
No, it's got that park. All right. Anyway, she said, burn together, burn. We'll burn together. I'm not clear who's going to burn together. Maybe when she broke up with him, she promised to be his lady again in hell. That's a hell of a way to, like, get out of a relationship. Be like, look, it's over between us. If we can just get a clean break, I'm yours in the afterlife. And then you just, ditch him in hell.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's see. Let's keep going. What do you say?
Yeah.
All right. Track number 11, Tim's favorite song, a Neil Young cover, Cinnamon Girl.
This would be enough to hate the whole album for me. I don't know. So obviously you're very familiar with Nirvana's MTV Unplugged.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the DVD?
Yeah.
So it includes Kurt Cobain briefly and jokingly singing Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
With the voice that he does on that, mocking it, the... Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the voice he's doing here.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And I don't care for it.
Yeah, it's sort of a lighter Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, but it's...
Listen, I'm not defending it, Tim. This is crazy. I wasn't really sure how to talk about this. This is wild.
No, that's not how you sing this song, Pete. You cut your face.
It's a super crazy thing to do. It's not very good and might be the reason I don't hate this album.
Oh, God.
Here's the deal. They are so purely them and consistently them, and what they're doing is so weird that I don't think I hate it.
Like, it sucks, though. God, it sucks.
It's not for me.
It's not for anyone. It sucks.
It's way too long.
He inexplicably does the rolling of his R's on here. The drummer, the dreamer.
Oh, yeah.
I run in the night. Fuck you, man.
I could be happy the rest of my life with my cinnamon girl.
Yeah,
something like that.
There's odd German that they put in it throughout, which doesn't help with the Nazi sympathizer allegations they got.
Yeah, more on that in just a second. But I didn't understand why they begin with Achtung! 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I just, ugh.
I could be happy the rest of my life with
I will say, when we looked at this, when we got this suggestion from Una, whose suggestion this album is, I noticed that this was on here, and this is why I insisted we do this. We make sure this was in the hopper, because I listened to this and I was like, no, if the rest of it's even anything like this can go fuck itself. And it is.
It's pretty good, though.
It is not.
It's weird. I'll say that. Like, I appreciate hearing new artists, new to me, and I'm like, what could possibly be next after all this vampire singing? Holy Christ, it's a cover of Cinnamon Girl.
This is at least better than Bono's cover of Hallelujah.
Oh, God. I forgot about that. This is better than that. Is it better than Corey Feldman's Beatles cover? Yes.
Yes.
All of them. Hate that there's many.
Track number 12, Garrett. The Glorious Liberation of the People's Technocratic Republic of Vinland by the combined forces of the United Territories of Europa. Vinland, of course, refers to a Vinland flag used and designed by Pete to symbolize his political views and Nordic heritage. The flag is sometimes displayed on the band's merchandise along with the slogan "Made in the People's Technocratic Republic of Vinland," which is not fascist at all, but kind of seems like it.
Yeah, especially when you take into account all the German counting and airplanes you hear in this quote-unquote song.
Yeah, there's military-style, like, marching drums, there's helicopter noises, there's airplanes, and the lyrics consist entirely of him over and over counting 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, sounds like the sort of liberation that leaves a city in ruins and a lot of innocent people dead. I have liberated you.
Yes.
You would cheer for me now.
Lacostigating, if you will.
Yeah. Track number 13, Wolf Moon, including zoanthropic paranoia. Ew. Dude, this song takes the cake. Top 5 grossest songs I've ever heard. It took me a minute to believe what I was hearing. I wrote down too much of this song because I couldn't believe my ears.
Yeah, I have written no notes. I just copied down the lyrics in their entirety for this, so...
Here's the crazy part is that as disgusting as it's about to get, I want to believe, 1% of me believes it's just the shittiest metaphor for a werewolf I've ever heard.
I think the werewolf might be a shitty metaphor for what he's into, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's what I think it is. But I'm trying to, I said 1%.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it, folks, because you are not ready for this. This song, despite, again, being top 5 grossest songs I've ever heard, might be the reason I don't hate this album.
You said that about Cinnamon Girl.
I'm adding it to the column of reasons that I might not hate this album. I can have more than one, right?
You said...
Is that allowed, Gino? Can I have more than one reason to not hate? Yeah, he says yes. Okay. All right. Wolf Moon. The 28th day. Sorry, I've already fucking ruined it. The 28th day, she'll be bleeding again. And in lupine ways, we'll alleviate the pain. Now, stopping right there. Our listeners are concerned. We've warned them. We've let them know it's horrid. Maybe we ruined it. I don't know. As a listener the first time through, not prepared for what was about to happen, I'm like, well, what does that mean? Lupine? Wolf? What do wolves do for... I mean, there's no way to misinterpret it. The 28th day she'll be bleeding again. We're like, okay, well, this is about menstruating. Cool. But what is in lupine ways will alleviate the pain? Some sort of wolf tampons?
It's not
Probably not
though.
that. No. Song continues. Unholy water, sanguine addiction, those silver bullets, a last blood benediction. I mean, do you want to say it?
Nope.
Well, he is addicted to this lady's menstrual blood.
Oh, yes.
One of us has to say it. Apparently, this man is overcome with sexual desire every 27 to 28 days, and her menstrual blood halts his animal needs, i.e. the silver bullets. God, but how does he get it, folks? Let's get into it. It is her moon time when there's iron in the air. A rusted... oh my God. A rusted essence. Woman, may I know you're there? Which I take a small quibble with. It should be a rusted essence. Woman, may I know you there? But whatever. Mm-hmm. It is her moon time, Tim.
Yes.
Listeners, write in hate
how you say it, right?
Right. That's how I refer to women's menses. I hate that. Listeners, write in hatePodMail@gmail.com. Refer to your lady's time of the month as her moon time. Let us know how they respond. I actually think you're going to get more laughs than anything.
Yeah.
Or slaps. Laughs. We'll keep tallies. Laughs versus slaps. Song continues. Hey, Wolf Moon, come cast your spell on me. Hey, Wolf Moon, come cast your spell on me. He knows the full moon brings her period and he can feed upon his urges to slurp upon her body fluids.
Yeah, he's really into that specifically.
Yeah. Don't spill a drop, dear. Let me kiss the curse away. Yourself in my mouth. Let me leave with your taste. Will you leave me with your taste? So pretty clear what's going on here. And also, gentlemen, just my personal experience, don't refer to a woman's period as her, quote, curse.
I disagree with that. Those that know of the old ways and where these sorts of things come from, they will agree and will respect the fact that you understand the metaphysical history, if you will.
God damn it. Well, for those of you who aren't assholes or Wiccan, don't call your lady's time of the month her curse. Unless she does. It's okay if she doesn't, but don't initiate. Beware the woods at night. Beware the lunar light, for we will be having sex in it. So in the gray haze, we'll be meeting again. And on that great day, I will tease you all the same. Which is a very long way of saying, you're cool with doing this in 28-ish days again, right?
And
See ya
only
then.
in 28 days. Never between.
It seems to be a way to alleviate her menstrual discomfort.
Ah, so he's just
with
being
his-
nice. He's
Well,
not into
no,
it
he
at
also
all.
enjoys cunnilingus during her menstrual time, which is, to each their own, but not for me, ideally. So this guy's a weirdo. Don't write songs about this, and don't write them like this, if you're gonna. Track 14, Haunted.
This song is more than 10 goddamn minutes, Garrett, and honestly, I propose we skip this.
Interesting. My notes say, Tim, I hate you. Not joking. It really does say that right here.
Yeah, they usually do, though.
Yeah, let's see here. Is there any reason to listen to this? Not really. It's about a guy who deeply regrets sleeping with a woman routinely when the morning comes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the only real thing is that confusingly, like 7 minutes into this song, it just stops midway through for a spoken word part about how he's aroused by trees or wood nymphs or something.
Oh, right. It does just stomp down so he can speak for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, here's a pretty great insult. He's describing the woman he has sex with routinely at night and regrets the next day. The odor fills my presence, a freshly dug grave, and death and night. He says she smells like death.
Yeah.
These things are
But he's
her
into
essence.
it.
Yes. Well, he's not into it. He's into her. He's into getting banged, and she doesn't seem to have any standards. Nocturnal mistress, spirit lover, your mouth of wine and wood smoke taste. She smells like cigarettes and wine, but I fuck her anyways. What this song is saying.
Oh, that's nice.
Track
of him.
yeah, it's not pleasant. Track 15, another untitled track.
That's all we have. I hope it wasn't too disappointing. We will see you on tour.
Yeah, we end with one last useless spoken word outro from Pete that cuts off halfway through a sentence.
Yeah, he thanks us for listening, which honestly I think more artists should do.
Yes.
What if every album, the artist's first track was them like explaining the album? I would love that. Sort of like a DVD commentary.
I would absolutely hate that. I enjoy making it up on my own.
Well, sure, for the purposes of the show. I'm talking about for music I like.
Yeah.
I think you're broken inside. Tim, how'd this thing do?
This did pretty well. It's certified gold, so it sold between 500,000 and 1 million copies in the US. It is generally considered their best album by their fans. It hit number 42 on the US Billboard 200, number 8 on the Austrian Ö3 chart, number 7 on the Finnish Suomen-Lista, number 5 in Germany, number 3 on the Swedish Sverigetoplisten, number 6 on the Swiss Schweizer Hitparade, number 26 in the UK, and number 21 in the Dutch.
What did people think of it?
Well, Garrett, there are 1,145 total Amazon ratings, 4.8 out of 5 stars on average, 90% 5-star, 1% 1-star, and I've got 2 of them for you.
Alrighty.
The first is by Kathy, who titled her review Pure Magic from 2014. My favorite typo album. If I could, I would live within the music of this album, at least in the autumn. My love for it is so personal. There is a romance/sexuality to it that is rarely seen or heard now. Dark, raw, and unabashedly traditional. I suppose some artists feel it banal to sing of lighting candles, season change in moonlight, but that is just another reason why October Rust is so unique. There's a sort of gothic fairy tale residing in the music. The bass lines are so sexy, and every song sounds so perfectly heavy and melodic. I just adore the way Peter used his voice on this album. The lyrics are like a piece of literature from the Romantic period. They really move me emotionally. And then, of course, there is humor. Though it's different in this album than their others. Not satire, but still present. I love to take a walk during the full moon and listen to this album. It's magic. I think a really beautiful side of Peter was expressed in this album. There will never be another like him. 5 out of 5 stars.
That is so strange.
Kathy, 100% owns that Playgirl.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I love that she only will listen to this when at a full moon.
Well,
that's
Garrett.
when walking.
Yeah, she knows the
God,
old
so
ways,
strange.
Garrett. The old ways and the old ones.
Not going to take the bait. Refuse to learn what that means.
Venturians titled his or her review a poetic review for a poetic rock masterpiece from 2013. It is said that writing about music is like dancing about architecture, and that seems especially to apply here, but I'm gonna do it anyway. October Rust equals beauty plus humor plus morbid images plus lost love. Catchy, yet discordant. Well-loved, yet rarely on the radio. Creative, yet a tribute. October Rust equals metal plus pop plus classic rock plus goth plus sound effects plus spoken word. Soaring yet pounding. Wailing yet whispering. Lusty yet romantic. Angry yet wistful. October Rust equals independence plus musicianship plus fearlessness plus immaturity plus genius. $10 yet priceless. R.I.P. Pete, yet the music lives on forever. October Rust equals a legacy for the band to be proud of. Okay. 5 out of 5 stars.
I was not going to tolerate another equation. God damn it. That's schizophrenia or drug addiction. I don't know which.
Yeah, but it's like a bad drug addiction, like addiction to Ritalin or something.
Yeah, it's like speed, some sort of crank.
Yeah.
Not like fentanyl. You fucking zombies.
They're the worst.
They really are. How could they have gotten less productive? Fentanyl.
It's your own question.
Yeah. Now, that first lady, I will say, she did sort of hit on something in that Typo Negative is sort of like Tool in that it's like kind of nerd doom rock.
Yeah.
It's like, check out they're just as proud of their instrumentation as they are of the song itself,
and
which is not always
bad.
common. Both aren't great, but they're consistently weird. And they're not.
They're
it's
bad.
Not terrible.
They're bad. Come on.
They're not good, but they're not bad at it. I'll say that.
I don't care.
All right. That's what people thought of it, Tim. So I'll ask you, who is it for?
This is for Kathy to listen to while she walks around outside and presumably masturbates.
Yeah, not at the same time.
Sometimes at the same time.
Oh my. You got like this, like, you know what? Never mind. Okay. God, I hate your answer.
It's accurate.
It's accurate. Yeah, it's accurate. Okay, that brings us to final thoughts, Tim. Did you learn anything? I don't feel like we moved the needle. I don't think you're happy about this.
No, I am maybe angrier after having thought about that stupid Haunted song for a few more minutes.
I could be happy the rest of my life with the cinnamon girl. Yeah. Alrighty, Tim. Enough of me taunting you with one of your favorite artists presented in one of the worst ways humanly possible. Do you hate this album?
Yeah. Garrett, this is a great spook pick. Well done, Una, but it is a terrible album, and I do in fact hate it. What about you, Garrett? Do you hate this album?
9.
9? Wirklich? 9?
9.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I hate it. No. I don't hate it. I hate how long it is, and I hate you, Una. Well done. Hate you, Tim, for pushing this so hard. It was a good pick. Just hate you for it. But I don't know. There's something about it that's too good for me to hate. Like, it's not for me. I really dislike it, but I don't hate it. I don't know why. It's my prerogative. Alrighty. But that's going to do it for this week, folks. As always, rate, review, subscribe, tell your best friend, tell your best enemy, tell somebody to listen to this show. Somebody's got to do it. We got to start paying the bills around here. 2026. I know we've said it before. 2026 is the year we monetize the podcast.
Or stop the podcast. We'll see.
Don't you say that. I have so little. This is an emotional outlet. You know that for me. Dr. Martinez was very clear. You can't just end stuff like this for me.
He was clear about that, yeah.
He used the word cataclysmic twice. I know I had to wait outside while you guys talked, but he has a very loud voice and I was eavesdropping. Anyway, hopefully we deleted that. Nobody realizes the actual dynamic of this show. Okay. Anyway, folks, we're on the internet. We're on social media even. You can find us on Threads. That's HatePod. Instagram's also HatePod. Twitter's album HatePod. I'm G Harvey Tweets on there. But hatePodMail@gmail.com. That's the move. That's the way you get us. Be succinct. Be funny. Be interesting. But most importantly, be there. Because we want to hear from you. Ideas, suggestions, things you like, things you don't. Weird stories about the songs, albums, artists, and topics that we discussed here today or previously or in the future. We want to hear from you. And as always, if you want to make sure it remains nice and anonymous, just simply say, don't say my name, or don't read this on the show, and we will oblige. We are respectful of our listeners, not each other, not the artists we talk about, but of our listeners. But that's going to do it for this week for Why I Hate This Album. I've been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy P. Richardson, and on an unrecorded day in 2023, Garrett P. Harvey said, do not use your poop as a punishment. Also, don't use it as a reward.
I was going to really question that advice until the second part came. Fair and balanced.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Gary.